Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 54 of Swiss Army Sports. Today is April 13th on a Monday in the Big 26. Also, my parents' 30th wedding anniversary. Shout out to Ken and Trish. I'm your host, Will Spain, former long snapper for the Troy Trojans. Appreciate the class, by the way. Troy Trojans, Ospey Governors, and partially Houston Cougars, joined by my side, former offensive lineman for the Hendricks College Warriors, current man of electricity, Luke, the Nuke Wallman, and joined virtually the man, the myth, the legend of Houston, Texas, former kicker for the Houston Christian Huskies and Troy Trojans, current nephew of the Georgia Tech men's head basketball coach, Scott Cross. It's Chase Cross repping the high school hoodie tonight. I'm in the Oilers, and Luke, a little fat tire action for your Monday morning.
On par.
It is on par for this weekend, I'll tell you that much. The agenda, a little Masters recap. Unfortunately, I cannot copy Grind City Media's Masters recap. If you have not watched, go check out our boy Chris Vernon getting down on the mic. He, God, it's going down at Augusta. Oh, he's got the most ghetto mascots behind him, like twerking on the desk. It's elite. So shout out to another pod there, Grind City Media. Go check that out. College baseball picks of the week recap. It was a very mid week for everybody involved. NASCAR Bristol recap. Me and Chase had good weeks on the NASCAR. Luke, up and down.
Hey, I was first in our fantasy this week, so
yeah, there you go. He was first in
that's
NASCAR.
not bad.
You know, if he ever applied the same strategy he does in NASCAR fantasy to picking the race winners on our podcast, he would be killing it because he's doing well in our NASCAR fantasy. NHL playoff race look, and we're also looking at some key games going on tonight and the rest of the regular season that goes on through Thursday. MLB Power Rankings making their debut as we're now 2 weeks in. We got a little bit better grasp of what's going around the Major League Baseball world, along with a new segment, The Duties. MLB Dude of the Week Awards was up last night trying to come up with a name for it, and I selected Duty. Found a little muscle trophy to stick on each of the players. I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. NBA play-in predictions. I was going to do the whole playoffs, and then I realized we're probably going to butcher the play-in predictions anyway, so we're going to wait till we get the full playoff bracket to give our predictions, which will be at the same time as our NHL playoff predictions. It'll be a very fun episode. Chase talks footy. He's going to speak on the English Premier League. My Premier League team is going down, so they are no longer even affiliated with my name. The only reason I rooted for them because they were on NBC Sports, and none of my other teams were. So, up Wrexham and up the Chair Boys. But Chase can talk a little footy there. Swiss Army 5, worst collegiate fan bases. Our goal is to trigger you on TikTok. I have some awful things to say about some of these fan bases. Awful things. I am going to call y'all bad names. And truly because y'all deserve it. And then best of the weekend. It was a hell of a weekend for me, at least, from my understanding, Luke as well. And I hope Chase also had a great weekend. He'll be able to speak about it with us. Let's get right into the Masters. We all swung and missed on Bryson DeChambeau. I mean, could not have come any further from correct. He missed the cut on day 2 after triple bogeying on hole 18. Michael, better pick there with Tommy Fleetwood, had a solid finish. It came down to really 4 golfers on Sunday. Justin Rose, who took a crap on the back 9, completely just lost his swing and choked. Cam Young played well the entire day, just kind of was a par golfer, though. Couldn't find any birdies. Scotty Scheffler made a late push, and he had so many putts that really should have gone in that just did not fall. He couldn't find any birdies himself. Ended up coming 1 stroke short to the eventual winner, Rory McIlroy. Chase, I'm sure you watched the Masters. Tell me what you came away from at Augusta.
Well, this is the first time that I really watched the Masters. I've always watched it, had it on in the background, but this time was the first time I really sat down and watched all 4 days. So I watched a lot of golf this last weekend. Really, quite honestly, I thought the best golfer in this tournament was Scotty Scheffler. He just didn't show up on Friday. If he hadn't shot 2 over on Friday, I mean, he blew up on the back 9. And I think he probably wins this tournament if he has a better back 9 on Friday, because he was outstanding on Saturday, and he still played well on Sunday. I mean, a couple of his par saves were absolutely incredible. Granted, he missed a couple putts. That birdie putt on 17 absolutely killed him. probably would have tied it, especially with Rory bogeying the last hole. But Rory got out of the gates really quick and didn't really have to do much. And it just seemed like, Cam Young, um, Justin Rose, Russell Henley, anybody who really had an opportunity to win this tournament, they just, as soon as they got the lead, they just kind of choked it back. And Rory made some timely shots, some big time putts, and congrats to the Manchester United fan, Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, hate that he even gets to rep Ireland in like the Olympics and stuff. He's not Catholic. He's from Northern Ireland. He's a Protestant. He has nothing to do with the country of Ireland. That's honestly my only beef with Rory. Other than I think he's a cocky little shit. But Luke, what'd you gather from the Masters at Augusta?
Yeah, I was only able to watch Sunday because I had to work on Saturday. So
Oh, you didn't whip out the app on
no, I was pulling cable in the pitch black, and it was I didn't want to drop it on someone from 2 floors above. Anyways, I didn't really want Roy to win because I mean it's cool back to back. We hadn't seen one since Tiger on 102, but I mean a bunch of drama on Twitter is around Rory because he skipped the last
Okay, damn it. I was going to bring this up at
Yeah.
the end about what y'all thought about it, but
No, I mean he skipped the last 3 tournaments to go practice, which is within his right. But like at the same time, you don't see Scotty. You never saw Tiger do it. I mean, you don't see some of these guys who have won.
I think it's complete horse crap.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I mean,
A week I get, but three,
yes,
man.
I know
it's-
it is. Yeah.
Let's be real. I mean, if you had the opportunity to do that,
No,
y'all would too.
It-
I mean,
I like even playing
it's
field,
too-
dude. It matters.
I'm from Texas. I understand. I'm from Texas, and nobody wants to play in the Houston Open and the Texas Open in San Antonio. Like respectfully, like the Houston Open, it was rainy the entire time. Same with the the Texas Open down in San Antonio. So I don't blame him for skipping those. Especially coming off a win, like you have those privileges now to practice at Augusta and really, really know the course. I mean, I think the bigger scandal is just how different the course played on Thursday than it did on Friday. Like it was super firm Friday and then super firm on Thursday and it got really, really soft or it may have been backwards. It was super soft on Thursday and really firm on Friday.
It was much
just
harder
pushing
to
up the
score on
greens.
Friday than it was Thursday.
Mhm. Yeah. So I think that probably played a factor into it a little bit too. So I mean, regardless, you still got to go out and play golf, even if you do have a competitive advantage. Like a lot of these guys, they played this course a ton of times and they get opportunities to practice on it. And you really, I mean, it doesn't matter once the whole start. You can throw practice out the window. I mean, I think we all thought Bryson DeChambeau was playing the best golf out of anybody, and he came out there and just looked atrocious, especially on Thursday. So, I mean, I don't think it was too much of an edge because you've still got to go, play good rounds of golf.
Yeah, I get it. It was a great tournament, very entertaining, especially on Sunday. The scoring was low, which I really appreciate when they give favorable pin positions on Sunday to create a little bit of drama. I ain't going to lie, I thought he was going to shit the bed on 18 as soon as that drive. And of
Me
course,
too.
in typical, defending Masters champion fashion, of course it rolls into a perfect line for him to get out of the woods. I mean, he was 2 feet from being, he's about to be in real double bogey trouble. And if that goes to a playoff, I think Scotty wins. But
Easily.
we've got a lot to cover. The Masters is elite. Moving on now to our college baseball picks of the week. Arkansas went into Bama and swept them.
Yeah, I am so pumped because I get to go see Arkansas play Georgia, and I was like, I manifested it. I said Arkansas was going to come out
Is
here.
that this weekend?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Arkansas was going to come out here.
WrestleMania weekend. Wow.
Huh?
WrestleMania weekend.
Screw that. I ain't touching that. I will not be alive for that.
It's Stanley Cup playoff weekend, bro. Come on.
But yeah, so I get to go see Arkansas play Georgia. Arkansas looked great. They swept Alabama, which I was kind of shocked by. I definitely thought Bama would steal one, but yeah, great week for the Razorbacks.
Yes, it was. And we all had that right except Chaser down there. And I understand he rode with the hot hand at home, but a team hasn't lost at home yet this year. And they get swept. What'd you take away from the Diamond Tide?
Never good to get swept at home. I mean, especially to an Arkansas team that I think we can all agree hasn't played their best, but there's so much parity across SEC baseball this year.
We
Anybody
learned,
can
we
beat
learned this
anybody.
week this is at a
Yep,
high point of
we
parity.
sure did. it's a highly parity conference, and so I think that really was exhibited here in this matchup. I mean, especially a sweep away from home. In Alabama, they just won two massive series the 2 weekends prior, so just definitely shocking from the Tide. But good to see Arkansas kind of get back on a roll and become a little bit more competitive in the SEC.
What wasn't competitive this weekend was LSU, and I mean they got destroyed at on the road at Ole Miss. Luke and Chase hit that one on the knob. Me and Mikey, a little hate watch, missed. To be honest with you, I genuinely thought LSU was going to win that series. Ole Miss looked damn good, especially with the bats. But LSU's pitching, man, is just struggling really bad down the stretch here in SEC play. And I'll even touch on Mississippi State got swept by Tennessee, which is something I did not see coming at all whatsoever. The bats have gone dormant. I'm very concerned for my Diamond Dogs. O'Connor better light a fire on their ass. But you know who also deserves a little bit of concern is this next series. One person got it right. And it would have been a sweep if Game 3 had been played, I guarantee you. Texas A&M just took care of business against them dirty Longhorns out of Austin. I'm the only one that had that one right. 3 of them had it wrong. Chase, I guess I'm just going to turn the floor to you for this one. Horns down, brother. What happened?
Just three. I mean, I think they got punked a little bit on Friday night in College Station. I mean, the crowd was like we talked about last week. I mean, the atmosphere was going to be absolutely incredible, and I mean, they just didn't show up to play. Honestly, pitching was not great. Bats were not hot, and I mean, A&M just outplayed Texas for the majority of the series. I mean, their bats were hotter, pitched a lot better. And it sucks as a Horns fan because you're coming in here thinking like, hey, we'll at least get one, and to get swept in the fashion we got swept, it was definitely embarrassing and definitely hurts the pride a little bit.
Yeah, look, I get it, dude. We lost to Tennessee this weekend. Hey, Troy beat Texas State though. Big shout out to the Troy boys. Really big RPI boost. Nebraska lost 2-1 to Oregon. I guess we kind of could have saw this one coming, kind of rode the hot hand, but Oregon's a damn good baseball team who is ranked. Going all the way out to Eugene was going to be tough for Nebraska. Getting one game wasn't bad for the Scourge.
And all of them were close. I mean, it was
very competitive series.
Yeah, so it was a good showing for Nebraska to have to go out there.
Showing for the Noles, though. They got absolutely railroaded by Georgia Tech on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. When I looked at the score on Thursday out at the bar, I was shocked. I was like, oh, my God. Georgia Tech is a team we need to really keep our eye on in terms of title contention. If they can get this rotation figured out week in, week out, the bats are there for the Yellow Jackets. Mm-hmm. And Chase, you're nodding your head and you agree here. This Georgia Tech team is very scary.
I think that this Georgia Tech team, if they figure their pitching out just a tiny bit, we saw what the bats can do against a really quality common opponent. I mean, this was a top 5 matchup, and I mean, Georgia Tech just absolutely dominated all 3 games of the series, pitched decently well, and I mean, man, they put up some crooked numbers. I mean, there's no other way to say it. This Georgia Tech team, like I said, I think this is the best lineup in the country, in my opinion, from 1 to 9. So, we'll have to see how the season goes, but if they can get their pitching dialed in when it comes to, regional and College World Series time, I think this team could go pretty far.
So Carolina got 2 out of 3 against Arkansas State. They ended up losing the Sunday game. I knew they would probably lose a game. I thought it was going to be Friday. Ended up losing on Sunday. Arkansas State's been a damn good team this year, though. And Coastal, again, faltering a little bit in Sunbelt play. And then we had a tie, 2-2.
Why are they playing 4 games?
I'm pretty sure, the only 4-game conference series of the Patriot League season for Holy Cross and Bucknell. And, of course, they split it 2-2 for our 4th tie of the Pick'em season. By the way, series ties, I think there's only been 9 this year, and we've had 4 of them on the slate, which is incredible. Moving on to
shout out Hawaii.
Yeah, shout out Hawaii, man. They know how to tie a series like nobody else. Chase keeps the top of the board, but Mikey and Luke are now tied in second. I'm only 2 games out of the lead in 4th. It is tight situations over here in college baseball picks. NASCAR headed to Bristol, and I love Bristol, man. It was a great weekend on the track. We had Kane, the mayor of Knoxville, giving the call on Sunday. So riding Stuart Friesen's 52 was Christopher Bell. He got the win for the trucks in the Tennessee Army National Guard 250. Kyle Busch came in 8th. Luke's Rando came in 17th. And Chaser, surprising that your boy came in 23rd this week. You've been riding the hot hand with the 88 truck, and he did not show up and perform on the short track, unfortunately. Moving on to the O'Reilly Series. Damn, it was tight. It was tight in the O'Reilly Series. Connor Zilisch came down and filled in for not Sam Mayer. Anyway, the one car he had to fill in this weekend, kind of late notice too. Ended up getting the win with Larson coming in second in the 88. Sheldon Creed coming in sixth in the 00. And man, Allgaier had a damn good race and just could not finish it. Came in fourth for the 7 car. Good picks in the O'Reilly Series. As we headed to the Cup, Kyle Larson was going to win it until it went to overtime. Ends up coming in third. Yeah. Luke just Kyle Busch may be washed, I guess. I mean, this is like his track and came in 25th.
He did. He got turd by Stenhouse, I think.
Look, man,
it was
this is actually a year coming. If you remember last year, if you followed NASCAR, Kyle Busch wrecked Ricky Stenhouse in the All-Star race. They got in a fist fight.
Yeah, he turned him. It was very funny.
Where Ricky Stenhouse responded on Twitter to someone saying he may have gotten loose. No, I did not. Period. Yeah. Taught Kyle Busch a little bit of a lesson, put him in the wall. And of course, man, Tyler Reddick had a hell of a run, another top 5 for the 45 car, coming in fourth. And then
he also was like in the 20s at some point. Yeah. He fell very far down. He finished extremely strong in this race.
Yeah, it came with those 4 tires in overtime. Yeah. Got a really nice finish over there in Bristol. But the Nepo baby wins his first career NASCAR race. Ty Gibbs, son of Joe Gibbs, runs for Joe Gibbs Racing. Grandson of Joe Gibbs. Excuse me.
He's like the announcer.
No, Joe Gibbs owns JGR, Joe Gibbs Racing, who runs the 54 car, and Denny Hamlin, and
I'm thinking of the old white guy. I think he's Joy.
Yeah, Mike Joy. Okay. So congrats to Ty Gibbs, man. Had a fast car, got it done. As we look at the playoff races, we still cannot get shit figured out in the Atlantic Chase. We have literally 2 games to go and 1 game to go for these teams. And they're all within a game of each other. The Sabres and the Canadians are tied for first at 106 points. The Sabres would have the tiebreaker with more regulation wins than the Canadians. The Tampa Bay Lightning are sitting at 104. They got a key game tonight. In the Metro, the Hurricanes have locked it up. They're done. They've locked it up. They've won the conference, actually. So they will have home ice advantage if they continue to win the entire way to the Stanley Cup. They are resting players. They're still in a dogfight with Philadelphia, who is trying to get in the playoffs right now, 2-2 at the end of the second. Pittsburgh's at 98. They're feeling pretty comfortable right now, being second in the Metro. And then the Philadelphia Flyers sitting in third at 80 games played, 94 points. The Bruins have locked up a wildcard spot, 98 points through 81. The Senators have clinched a spot in the wild card, 81 games, 97. So what's up for grabs right now is not even a wild card spot, weirdly enough. Kind of like the Pacific in the West. It is that third spot in the Metro between the Capitals, Blue Jackets, and Flyers. The Blue Jackets fell last night, which was a big blow for them. Chase, it's coming down to the wire. If they win tonight, Philadelphia holds on, and I think they will. So I'm going to ride with the Flyers. What about you?
Ride with the Flyers, too, just considering that, they have the position right now, and they're playing an opponent that's resting all their skaters tonight. So I definitely think the Flyers get in. What I'm more excited to see is how the Atlantic shakes out, because
100%.
I mean, we could see the third place team finishing first in the division, which is key, because they get a wild card spot, and then the other two have to play each other. So I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes down the stretch. I'm gonna ask you, who do you think finishes first in the Atlantic?
Yeah, and so I'm going to build on that. I don't think if you're in the Atlantic top 3 right now, you don't want to play another one of these top 3 Atlantic teams in the first round. It would just be a really tough draw. I mean, don't get me wrong. Boston is also a really tough draw. I think the optimal opponent for anyone right now is Ottawa, so you're kind of hoping Ottawa sneaks into that one wild card spot if you're an Atlantic team. Look, right now it's shaping up with the remaining games having to be played. I've got a gut feeling it may be the Tampa Bay Lightning that end up being first in this division. I think Montreal, it would have to have a lot to happen to end up coming in first with as little regulation wins as they have, not having a tiebreaker over either of the 2 teams. But don't sleep on Buffalo. I'm going to submit my pick as Tampa Bay. I'm pretty sure you probably agree with as big as you've been in the Lightning this year.
Yep, I'm going to go Tampa Bay, Buffalo, Montreal.
It's Man, that I actually want to see a Buffalo Montreal series. I think that would be an
Oh, it
absolutely
would be
incredible
absolutely
environment.
electric.
You'll have both fan bases traveling to both sides. It'll be incredible. In terms of the West, as we now pivot over to the playoff race in the Western Conference, I have the
Exit
East.
out. I fixed it. Exit
Okay.
out. I fixed it.
Shout out Luke. Okay.
Yeah. No,
He
I
fixed it
saw
on the
that.
East.
I saw it. I was like,
This is
God.
not the East, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, as you can see, it's obviously the West. I somehow put the same picture in twice, even though I took both screenshots. The Avs have locked up the Central. They've locked up the West. They've also locked up the NHL. So not much going for the Avs, especially I'm very happy about that as they play the Oilers tonight. They are resting a few key pieces. The Dallas Stars, they've tied the game up with the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, which is big because I don't. Oh wait, no, they mathematically can't have it anymore. They've locked up the 2 seed. They will host the Minnesota Wild, who will be the 3. So the Central set, where it's anything but set, is anything except the Utah Mammoth, and the Utah Mammoth could technically not be the one wild card. So it's not set anywhere else. We just know the Mammoth are going to the playoffs. We know the Golden Knights are going to the playoffs, and we know the Edmonton Oilers are going to the playoffs. The Ducks still have yet to clinch. The Kings, who are sitting in the second wild card, have yet to clinch. The Preds are 1 point out of the wild card. The Jets are hanging on by a thread with the San Jose Sharks. Chase, I've got it going. And again, I'm totally humming. I think Edmonton wins the Pacific. I think they're the best team in the Pacific. I think they also have the best path right now, playing a lower Avalanche squad, resting some players. And then the Vancouver Canucks to finish out the season. I think we should finish with 94 points. Vegas has a little bit higher, intensity of matchup with the Kraken, who, yes, have been eliminated, but will try to win games because they're not playing for a lottery spot at this point. I think it's going to be Edmonton, Vegas. And there's a gut feeling, man, that it could be the Kings that sneak into this third spot because the Anaheim Ducks have just been going in the wrong direction. But for the sake of the argument, I'm going to stick with the Ducks at third, hoping they have a big enough gap between the Kings, and say the Kings actually end up dropping out of the playoffs after getting this whole head coach bump. And it's going to be Mammoth Preds because the Preds tied up with San Jose right now. If they get that win tonight, will be in prime position to take that spot away from LA. How do you see it going, Chaser?
Well, honestly, I don't know if I'm the Oilers, maybe necessarily I don't want to win the Pacific because regardless, you're probably going to get the Ducks or Kings in my book. In that third spot, I think that's a more favorable matchup than the Mammoth. I don't know how you feel about that, but if I'm an Oilers fan, maybe I don't want to win the Pacific, but McDavid's never won it, so I think it would probably, shockingly, but I think it would probably be good to say that we finally won the Pacific. But it's very jumbled. I think Vegas are in pole position right now. I can't say that they're playing a little bit better hockey than the Oilers as of late. They're very neck and neck though. 2 games left. They got a point. I would like to say both teams went out, so I would say Golden Knights finish first, Oilers second. Then it gets really jumbled. I mean, I would like to say that the Ducks hold on, but Ducks have played absolutely horrendous hockey in the month of March and the beginning of April. So you know I'm gonna stick with the Ducks, and I'm gonna say the Kings lock up that last wild card spot just because they have a game in hand.
Yeah, I think it's good, kind of hairy for the Preds. Interestingly enough, though, the Golden Knights do play the Jets, who have not been eliminated from the playoffs and could get in technically tonight. So this is a Jets team that has something to play for against the Vegas Golden Knights, which is not the case for everybody in these games coming down the stretch. And to answer your question, I would rather have the 1 seed. One, because other than the absolute come apart they had against Utah last time out, they are 2-1 against them in the series, season series. And then you would have home ice advantage all the way until the Western Conference Finals, assuming you would play the Colorado Avalanche. I think home ice advantage is such a key aspect in the playoffs that I would rather have the 1 seed and then against and yes, I agree, more favorable matchup potentially with the Ducks or Kings, given, our history of absolutely dog walking the Kings every year in the playoffs and how poorly the Ducks are playing. Yes, it may be an easier first round game, but I'm not necessarily worried about Utah. I think we would still win probably in 5 games, but we would get home ice advantage. And ultimately, I think we all think it's going to be Vegas and Edmonton in the semifinals going into the Western Conference. In the Pacific side. Moving on, we got some key games to talk about for these playoff races. We are 2-2 right now in the third period between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Philadelphia Flyers. We are 0-0 right now between the Sharks and the Predators. Tonight, we have some key matchups. The Kings go on the road to Seattle. The Oilers could jump into first spot in the Pacific as they host the Avalanche, and the Vegas Golden Knights host the Winnipeg Jets. And I want to see if you notice the same trend I saw for some of these teams around the wild card and battling for position in the Pacific. Some roads are tougher than others down this last week. We've got teams playing 3 games in a 4-day stretch because we have the Habs playing the Flyers again, the Hurricanes playing the Islanders, the Caps playing the Blue Jackets, Ducks playing the Wild, and Jets playing the Mammoth on Tuesday. Wednesday, a little bit of a lighter slate. The Stars playing the Sabres. Again, this is a big game for the Sabres, trying to lock up first in the Atlantic, as do the Lightning play the Rangers, Sharks playing the Blackhawks, and the Knights playing the Seattle Kraken. Then on Thursday, the Preds playing the Ducks, Jets playing the Sharks, Oilers playing the Canucks, and Flames playing the Kings. Chase, given these last few games, who's your best path for moving into better position or into the playoffs, and who has the hardest?
I would say, just based off what I see here, I mean, I think probably I would say the hardest path in my eyes is really the Anaheim Ducks. They have to play the Wild, which the Wild could be resting players, but that's still a quality opponent. And then having to go play the Predators, who could still be playing for a playoff spot. I think that's very challenging if you're looking at what the Ducks have to do to get in. Granted, they probably don't need a ton of points at this point, but still trying to get into the playoffs, those are definitely pretty hairy matchups. And then in terms of Eastern Conference, I think the Flyers, if they can come away with a win against the Hurricanes tonight, that's probably the easiest pathway because then they'd technically be in. But definitely, it gets a little hairy for them if they do end up losing tonight. But I do think that they can get a result against the Canadians, probably because they'll be resting skaters as well.
Well, I disagree with that. I don't think the Canadians will be resting at all trying to get first place in the
Atlantic.
Think so? Yeah, and especially with Philadelphia coming on the back end of the back-to-back, I think that'd be a pretty tough matchup for them. But if they win tonight, it all goes out the window anyway. I would agree with you. I think the Winnipeg Jets, man, have a really tough draw to try to make a miraculous comeback into the playoffs. Having to go to Vegas, to Utah, and against San Jose, 3 teams that are still jostling for position in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It was a pretty brutal end of the season for the Winnipeg Jets, who've gotten hot at the right time, just facing the wrong end of their schedule. MLB Power Rankings, our first edition on Swiss Army Sports this year. We are through 2 weeks, and I think it is very obvious who would be number one. One, because the AL is just complete mid-off right now. Shocking, but I mean, parity is there for the AL. But we got the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are 11-4, 7-3 in their last 10. I mean, the Dodgers are playing great baseball as they should because they've bought the roster that they have. Max Muncy, though, suspended for 80 games on PEDs, is going to be definitely something to watch out for. Yeah.
I did not see that today.
So, yeah, that's going to be something to watch out for. The Padres, they've impressed. I will give Chase the tip of the cap. It's been an impressive run for the Padres so far. Pitching has not struggled as much as I thought it would. They're sitting at 10-6. Then another shocker, I've got the Pirates, 9-6 so far this year, battling out in that Central Division, leading it so far. And then the Tampa Bay Rays, kind of my best team in the AL so far because no one's really shown out. Tampa Bay just swept the New York Yankees. The power ranking, they beat the presumed AL winners 3-0 in a 3-game stretch over the weekend. So got to give a shout out to Tampa Bay. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks, look, this NL West is loaded. It's absolutely loaded. The Diamondbacks playing damn good ball as well. Luke, who are your top 5 in your power rankings?
Yes, obviously, as you all see, we have the Dodgers with the clean sweep at 1, best team money can buy. And then 2, I just want to shout out Mason Miller. That dude is an absolute freak of nature. I saw a stat, and he's had 50 strikeouts in the last so many appearances, and he's only thrown 50 balls. So for his last 50 strikeouts, he's only thrown 50 balls in that time period, which is insane.
We'll get into the stats.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I got to throw something out there. Chase is badly going to talk about that. But then I'm going to go with the Braves. And the thing about the Braves, too, they don't have Strider back. They have some key pitching issues for injuries, but Sale still looks good. And the offense we know is going to be there. They were not going to have back-to-back years like they did last year when you have Acuna, Riley, Olsen, you have Baldwin, who's an MVP candidate. I mean, these guys can hit the baseball. And then I got the Pirates, which I will say, like, the NL Central is right now looking kind of loaded because you have all teams except for the Cubs, which we love, over 500. So, I mean, it looks like the Central could somewhat be competitive to what a division is usually not very competitive in general. But you got Bubba Chandler, Paul Skeens, you got some good pitching for the Pirates. And then O'Neal Cruz has been ripping the cover off the baseball. He had 3 hits the other day, which all totaled 110 miles per hour off the bat, or maybe it's 105. He is the only player to do that in MLB history and StatCast history. The dude cannot play defense, but my God, he can hit a baseball. And then finally, number 5, I'm coming in with the Twins. They also just put 11 runs up on Garrett Crochet in 1 1/3 inning. So they're up 11-0 on Boston. I mean, the Twins have looked a lot better than I thought. They're 7-3 in 10 games. They're 9-7. They're atop of the Central. So I'm going to give a shout out to the Twins. They're looking a lot better. They're beating the Red Sox right now, so they'll be in my number 5.
Chase.
Well, I think the consensus, obviously, we talked about it in our predictions last week, that the Dodgers are by far the best team in baseball. I mean, just if you look at the pieces they added to an already stacked roster when you bring in guys like Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz. I mean, we were all kind of hoping, but we knew who the best team in baseball was going to be this season. They've lived up to that. I think Max Muncy has actually been one of their best players this year, so I do think that will affect them, him being out 80 games, but, that remains to be seen. Then my Padres, honestly, kind of saw this coming just with the fact that everybody was doubting this pitching staff. I mean, I know we just lost. I think we lost Pivetta for a couple of weeks with right arm, with his throwing arm soreness. But besides that, the staff's been solid. And Darvish and Musgrove still can come back too for this staff at some point. So the pitching staff's going to be fine. But the pen has been absolutely electric outside of Adrian Moore.
I got sent tell. Just by the way, on Max Muncy, I had to cut in.
Did?
I had to cut in and say that.
Oh,
I had a coworker today tell me about this and showed me, and I bought it. I got sent tell. They got sent tell too, though, because they were like totally.
I guess we got to do our own research now here, Will.
I mean, yeah, I completely bought it.
Information.
God,
well, regardless, now the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Dodgers are good.
Having Max Muncy, they'll obviously be great for the rest of the year.
Max Muncy's back.
But yeah, the Padres. I mean, the bats are coming alive. They've won the last 3 series. Just swept the Rockies. I know it's the Rockies, but the Rockies were the hottest team in baseball going into them winning 6 games straight. So, big time win, 2 walk-off wins. Xander Bogaerts walk-off grand slam and a Gavin Sheets 3-run bomb. This Padres team is playing really well. Braves look great too. I mean, that lineup is just absolutely loaded. They can put up runs, and like Luke said, Chris Sale looks great. They can pitch a little bit, and when Spencer Strider comes back, I fully expect this team to be really good. The Yankees, still are scoring a lot of runs. They have lost some ball games, had a tough series with the Rays, but outside of that, this Yankees team is the best team in the AL, so I think it'd be a travesty to not have an AL team on here. And then the most surprising team of the season, the Pirates. I think we expected their staff to be decent, but man, they can hit the baseball a little bit too. So definitely surprised about how well this Pirates team has done. And I just want to touch on Mason Miller. This season, he's thrown only 20 balls. He has 19 strikeouts. I mean, that is absurd.
No, that is absurd. He's dealing. He is absolutely dealing. Cannot believe you would have the Yankees in your power rank after getting swept by Tampa Bay. You could have found someone else there. But moving on to our MLB duties for April 6th to the 12th. Dude, Bryce Harper's been on an absolute tear. Not only is he my favorite baseball player, but dude is hitting .526 in the last week with a .607 on-base percentage and a .1535 OPS with a dinger. He's been on an absolute tear for Philadelphia. Pretty much one of the only things going right for the Phillies right now. So shout out to you, old Brycey. And I was going to leave Luke this one because he is very obviously the best player in the MLB right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, we got the darker Aaron Judge on our hands with Jordan Walker of the Cardinals. Over the past week, he's hitting .360. He's getting on base at .400. He's hit 5 bombs. Which is a thing we as a Cardinals fans have watched him for years.
He struggles,
and his chase rate is insanely high. It's not this year. He's hitting for contact as well as power. I mean, last night he went 2 for 4. I mean, the dude is actually hitting the baseball, and he's got an absolute cannon out and right. I mean, people will not run on him because I think 2 out of the first 3 games, he threw guys out at third. People really don't run on him anymore. I mean, Jordan Walker is leading the league in home runs, and I really hope he continues to be good because I want him to be good. But this past week, he's been an absolute dude.
Chase, who's your duty?
Best player in the MLB so far this season, Mason Miller, absolutely on probably one of the most dominant tears we've seen for a relief pitcher, dating back to last season. But he's continued it this week. 4 innings pitched, 1 save, 11 strikeouts out of 12 batters faced. I mean, that is just absolutely absurd. And the other batter faced was a ground out to shortstop, I believe. I mean, that is insane. He's untouchable. Almost had an immaculate inning on, I believe it was Friday. This dude, I mean, he's on a different planet right now. I mean, he throws 103, 104 mile an hour fastball with a 88 mile an hour slider that is just, it moves so much. I mean, I would hate to be a pitcher. I mean, a batter facing this pitcher, coming up in the 9th inning, but Mason Miller's absolutely been going off.
And he's got one of the most electric
walkouts.
entrances.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
D3 Warrior right there.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out Watford College.
Yep.
NBA playing predictions for the East. We had the 17 and 76ers playing the 8 Magic. Man, I think the Magic are going to get a win here, led by none other than Desmond Bane. They're going to get the 7 seed. Hornets and the Heat. I think the Hornets will pretty comfortably win this one against Miami, who's looked pretty poor down the stretch. Then the 76ers get a tough draw against those Charlotte Hornets, and I think the Charlotte Hornets are going to be going through to get the 8 seed in the East. Luke, how do you see it?
I'm sticking with my preseason prediction. I didn't have the Magic, I don't think, making the playoffs, or I might have had them making the 8 seed. But I've got the 76ers to move on. I think with Maxey and Edgecombe, I think it's just going to be too much because I'll give Paulo credit. The dude is a playoff baller, but he's been so bad down the stretch of the regular season. I just don't know if I could have that same faith going into this play-in. And then I got the Hornets, who I think is America's team. I want to see Eric Collins call a playoff game. That would be absolutely electric. So I got the Hornets getting the 8 seed.
Chase, how do you see it?
I see the same as you, Will, which makes me a little nervous, but I got, I think the Magic have actually played better basketball to even get, because they were in the 9 seed at the beginning of last week, and they played better basketball to move ahead of the Hornets and to, kind of get close to that 7 seed range. So I think they're going to have just enough to get by the 76ers, and Paolo's been a great playoff basketball player. Granted, this year he's been down, but I still like this Magic team with Desmond Bane and Paolo Banchero in the playoffs. I just don't think VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey get it done. Just the 76ers and team has just not really wowed me at all this season, especially with Nick Nurse. And then the team that everybody loves. I mean, I thought they were going to get in the playoffs, and they did have 2 tough games down the stretch, and lost, to 2 of the better seeds in the playoffs. I think it was they played the Thunder and the Celtics. So it knocked them out of contention to make the playoffs and put them in the play-in and dropped them all the way back to 9. That's how close everything was. But this Hornets team has played great basketball for the last 2.5, 3 months. Concanipple and LaMelo Ball are shooting the lights out. They'll be able to beat the 76ers, and I think that they will definitely give the Pistons trouble in the first round.
100%. As we now move to the West, the Phoenix Suns, man. Y'all thought they were done? Dun. Yeah, if you know NBA Instagram, that is our little victory song. Yeah, we'll take care of the Trailblazers. I feel pretty confident about that, especially saying I think the Clips really hammer the Warriors, and then we'll go on and beat the Trailblazers. Now, the reason I'm saying the Clips beat the Trailblazers, yeah, I do think the Clippers have looked a little bit better this year than Portland has. However, Portland just beat LA last night. They're not going to beat them again in such a consecutive amount of time. So I like the Clippers to move on, especially in a pressure situation. A little bit more veteran leadership over there in LA. Luke, how do you see it?
So, yeah, I think the Suns should handle the Blazers. I don't see that game. It should be like a 10-point win for this. It should be a very comfortable win, and I think they're going to be the 7 seed. Now, I've got the Blazers, or the Warriors suck. The Warriors have been bad. Clippers are winning. I just got a gut feeling. It's a gut feeling that I mean, which granted, travel's not far. It's still probably not fun to go to San Francisco, then fly up to Portland. I mean, you're going to be on a plane. They've only got to go from Phoenix and then back, and they're going to be ready to play at home. So I'm going to ride with the home team. I think the Blazers, Denny Avila,
Yeah,
who's
he's
an all-star. I mean, I think he's going to have a huge game and will them to be the 8th seed. We're going to get some playoff basketball in Portland.
Chase, two great minds think alike, don't they?
We're just locked in right now, man. I think the Suns are easily the best team in the play-in. They are for sure going to be in the playoffs, even if they lose the first game. No shadow of a doubt. I guarantee the Suns will be in, and I think that they handle the Blazers. And then the Warriors have been absolutely atrocious this year. They're going to go to Cancun early. I've got the Clippers beating the Warriors, and then I think Clippers, honestly, they have better veteran talent than the Blazers, and they have a little bit more. And they've actually sneakily played some pretty good basketball as of late. They were 6-21 to start the year. I think they've gone like 36-20 to finish. So they've been playing good basketball, winning basketball over the last couple months. I mean, to start off 6-21 and find a way to get in the playoffs, I mean, that's pretty impressive. So I trust Ty Lue. I think he's going to get it done. And I got the Clippers getting the 8th seed.
There we go. This dude knows ball. Chase, talk a little footy to us, man. EPL.
Well, we had our first weekend of Premier League football back coming off the international break, and there is a ton of storylines to talk about. First off, Bournemouth beat Arsenal, which was a big deal for the title race. And with a game in hand, now Arsenal is only 6 points clear of Man City. If Man City and Arsenal play this weekend, so if Man City were to beat Arsenal this weekend and then go win their next game, they would be level on points with Arsenal when the gap was 9 points going into the international break. Like, Arsenal's just completely crumbled. Out of the Carabao Cup, out of the FA Cup, there's a chance that they could lose the Premier League when they had it locked down. So the title race is getting interesting. Absolutely massive match this weekend between City and Arsenal. And then, my Red Devils today, shocking loss to Leeds at home. First home loss for Michael Carrick. Doesn't really do anything for our Champions League spot because Chelsea also got thrashed by Manchester City 3-0, looking like Manchester United only needs 2 wins to qualify for next year's Champions League, still holding in third. Aston Villa tied this weekend. Liverpool got a sneaky good win, winning 2-0. And then, really, the biggest story we got to talk about, West Ham United beat Wolves 4-0 to pull them out of the relegation zone. And Tottenham, I mean, I don't know what to say. Well, they just are finding ways to lose. I watched them play, and they just came up very short against Sunderland. So Sunderland got an insane deflection goal, and Tottenham just missed so many opportunities. Had so many opportunities to win the game against Sunderland, and it looks like they're going down. They do have Wolves next, so they're going to need a big result. But this Tottenham team still does not have a win in the Premier League in 2026. One of the biggest clubs in England is in massive trouble at getting relegated.
It is April 3rd.
I got a question, Chase. So,
yes, sir.
Is West Ham going to get relegated? Is that how that works?
No, so it's only the bottom 3 teams, so 18, 19, and 20. So if West Ham makes it, stays higher on points than Tottenham for the rest of the season, Tottenham's going down.
Let me tell you what, if Wrexham goes up, I probably will watch every game, and that'll be the first time that has ever happened for the Premier League for me. Typically,
it's looking dark for Wrexham right now to get promoted, though. They're in 7th, right outside of the playoff spot, and the teams ahead of them haven't really lost. Southampton has been on an absolute tear over the last couple months, and they took that 6th spot from them and thrashed them. So I don't know if Wrexham's going up this year, but still, the fact that they've already gotten promoted twice and could go up for a 3rd time, that's absolutely unheard of. So you got to shout out Wrexham. They'll be up next year for sure. But, oh, man, Tottenham in the championship, like that. Will, this is an example. This would be like if
No, I get it. It would
Alabama
got
dropped from the SEC or something.
It'd be like the Dodgers going down to AAA. I mean, it's unreal.
Yes, that's actually a perfect example. It'd be like, actually, maybe not the Dodgers. It would be like the Blue Jays, that have been good the last couple of years. Like, this team was just in the Champions League, the most prestigious European competition, and they could be in the championship. So from Champions League to championship, it's absolutely crazy. But I mean, wild times in the Premier League.
All right, I'm pulling up the and you'll appreciate this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 games left, I believe. Yeah, 4 games left in the championship for Wrexham. They're 4 points out. Just need to get past Hull City, who hasn't necessarily been playing great.
No.
I think that's their only chance, though. I think Southampton may be just a little bit better than them right now and ahead. And then let's peek at my actual team that I will pirate games and watch. Do not arrest me, please. Wickham. Where are we at on the table? We got a big result this weekend. Oh yeah.
You also want to point out Leicester
Yeah.
City. You guys know that that's one of the biggest upsets of all time when they won the Premier League in 2016. They got relegated from the Premier League last season, and they could be going down to League One back-to-back years, which is crazy from a team that,
just won
10 years ago just won the Premier League. So
Wickham would have
wild.
to win out and have Stevenage lose out. Don't think that's going to happen. Unfortunate, man. We were in a playoff spot just a month ago. Pretty poor form for the Wanderers. Damn. Oh, well. Moving on. Let's talk some shit. All right. Producer, this one's for you, and you better cut up these TikToks and make them. Top 5 worst collegiate fan bases on my Swiss Army 5 this week. I will kick us off. The Tennessee Vols are my number 1. I live in Tennessee. I would say about 75% of the Vols fans I know did not attend the University of Tennessee. I think that's pet peeve number 1. Number 2, half of them are missing all their teeth. Number 3, they only come out when they're good. I'm a Troy fan, obviously. I went to Troy, played Troy football, but my SAT team is Mississippi State. I root for Mississippi State when state sucks, which is pretty often. Tennessee fans are very dormant and quiet when they're not good at something. But as soon as they're good, they will let their opinion know. And Tennessee Twitter may be the most insufferable people on the face of the earth.
I think it's just the colleges in the state of Tennessee.
It is, because Memphis almost made this list.
They almost made it for me, too.
Yeah, Memphis fans are insufferable, but Tennessee fans are just the redneck version of that, and they are so much worse. I literally cringe when someone tells me they're a Tennessee fan. I don't care. And if you chose to spend your money to go to that hellhole of an institution, I am very sorry. All you're doing is just getting a little make-believe daycare degree. I honestly think my Troy University degree is in higher regard than the University of Tennessee. And half of y'all had to go to that little shitty community college down the road to get into it anyway. So, I mean, it's just a sad state of affairs. If you went to the University of Tennessee and you're from Tennessee, go to hell. Alabama is running. Jordan Walker, home run. Let's go. Oh, it hit. It hit. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, dude. Oh, yeah, cut that. I actually don't leave that in, baby. $10 to pay $62 bet on Jordan Walker dinger today for the St. Louis Cardinals. Number 2 is Alabama. And they're the Alabama version of Tennessee. Me and Chase went to school in Alabama, so I'm sure he is pretty on par with this, even though he didn't include them, which is insane. I do agree with this number 4, though. They're a piece of shit, too. Alabama is missing half their teeth. They're redneck white trash. They are loud and obnoxious. They think they are God's gift to the earth. And they haven't performed well recently, and they're just not taking it well. They think everything should be burned to the ground. Alabama fans are a piece of shit. Number 3 is Texas A&M. One, it's a cult, and they're always like, oh, you don't get it. You didn't go to A&M. Yeah, I don't want to go to A&M. I don't want to watch dudes in white, tight, pantsuits dance for me. I don't want to kiss the person next to me. I don't want to do all this crap that A&M fans do. And not only that, they also think they're God's gift to the earth. They worship a dog. They are insufferable to listen to. I hate Texas A&M, and I hate their fan base. Number 4 is Duke. Duke basketball specifically. I have no problem with Duke fans in football and baseball. But Duke basketball is the Alabama of football. Duke basketball fans are only fans of Duke basketball. They pretty much all did not go to Duke because they're all not smart enough to go to Duke. And you can tell when you see a Duke basketball fan that's just a Duke basketball fan, they didn't go to Duke. You can tell that their IQ is not high enough to go to Duke. They're also a fan of the LA Lakers and the New York Yankees, and probably the Kansas City Chiefs in the Big 26. I mean, it's insufferable fan base. They all suck LeBron off just as much as they suck off the Cameron Crazies. I'm a big hater on Duke. Number 5 is Ole Miss. And I feel like this is a very popular opinion rising through the ranks of social media is how insufferable Ole Miss people are. And here's my prime example. This weekend, there was a baseball game between LSU and Ole Miss. An LSU fan was just walking out of the park with his girlfriend, wife, whatever. They lost the game. He's not even saying anything. You can tell. He just got his head down. Ole Miss fan throws a beer at him. Stereotypical Ole Miss student, by the way. And by the way, it takes the IQ the size of a shoe size to get into Ole Miss. I just want to put that out there right now. It literally takes the IQ the size of your shoe size to get into Ole Miss. They're dumb. They're so privileged. They think they are all that in a bag of chips. They all think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And ever since their sports programs have become good, they're kind of like Tennessee and Alabama fans where they just think they can talk in whatever they want, but they honestly haven't even won anything. Congratulations, you made it to the semifinals. Still no ships. They technically do not have a team sports national championship until they won that baseball championship back in 2021 or 22. Don't give a shit. They can't figure out what their mascot is. Historically, extremely Confederate racist. They are just on the wrong side of basically everything. Have I mentioned they're loud and obnoxious? They all come from their parents' money.
On your list?
Huh?
How are they at 5 on your list?
I think just because on a national scale they're way smaller than the other 4, and I think that's the only reason why they're at 5. Y'all know me; I almost put them at 1. I put them at 5, but I almost put them at 1. I think Ole Miss fans, and specifically Ole Miss students, except the 2 that I'm very close to, are the scum of the earth. I truly think their college degree is literal toilet paper. If you get a degree in like business from Ole Miss, unless you're hooking up with another Ole Miss DJing grad, it's toilet paper. It's not worth a crap. And their fans are completely worthless. Again, back to the beer. Dude threw a beer at the LSU fan who was minding his own business and got his shit clocked. I mean, just got rocked. Apparently, he hit the wrong guy. Who gives a shit? They all deserve to be punched in the face. On Twitter, Ole Miss fans are like defending the dude that threw the beer. That is my number one stereotypical. That is Ole Miss right there. That is Ole Miss. They think they're entitled to be pieces of shit just because they're at home winning a baseball game. So those are my top 5 worst collegiate fan bases. Luke, I almost threw your number 2 on mine, but I almost threw your school on mine as well.
Yeah,
top 5.
I'm pretty aware both the schools I root for have some pretty bad fan bases, but number 1 is Tennessee. I think just living here, like another thing I've noticed with Tennessee fans, outside of a few I'm friends with, most of them, when you talk to them, they have no idea what they're talking about. They're just spewing random bullcrap and just acting like they're the greatest thing on earth, and they're just not. They don't really win in anything. I mean, Nico Imalava or whatever we all got told that dude's the truth. He's gonna win the Heisman. Blah 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 blah. Transfers to UCLA. I mean, like it's just they're very insufferable on Twitter, and I honestly hate Tennessee. I've grown up. I think my dad honestly would disown me if I would have chosen to go to college and went to Tennessee. So Tennessee fans are usually insufferable. Charlie is like on the low end for me because I've met some way worse ones.
Oh, no, yeah. He's on the low end. I mean, no ill will towards Chuck, but I mean, he plays for the U of M and roots for Tennessee. I think that kind of amplifies Tennessee.
But my number 2 is Ohio State. I think they just think they're better than everybody. And like, I'm on Michigan Twitter, so I see a bunch of this stuff. And like, so when we beat them 3 years in a row and they had the national championship, like, it'd be like Ole Miss winning the Natty, but State beat them in the rival. Like, that's not actually winning. You didn't beat your rival. Like that, especially when Michigan literally threw for 30 yards. I mean, it's honestly insane because they claim that, and then Michigan just like fires back that at least in our Natty, we beat y'all. And then like they just throw it, we have more first round picks. At least our coach didn't have a mistress. Which our university's shitty. They just suck. I mean, I hate Ohio State. I've only known one good Ohio State fan. I went to high school with them, but all the other ones I've met, even the kid I coached on my football team, was kind of a shitbag. So, they're my number 2. And then my number 3.
I totally disagree with this. As a good Catholic man, how can you? I never understood the Waldman beef with Notre Dame.
No, I'll root for Notre Dame. Don't get me wrong. But when you literally think you should be in the playoff and you have a whole rule made for you that you got to be in the playoff now if you're in the top 10, join a conference.
It's not the fan base.
Like no, this is the fan base. The whole fan base is super toxic. Like I know a few Notre Dame fans. I do not like them very much as they're great people. They are terrible fans. They think Notre Dame is Alabama. That is like kind of the thing. They think they are the most prestigious football program in the country. And
I would agree with them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're not. They haven't won anything like since the 40s. So like you are not that guy. I get Marcus Freeman's young. I get y'all been to the playoff and went to the Natty, which was awesome. You didn't win. And then you missed the playoffs, and all you did was bitch about it because you didn't play anybody. You're like some of your top wins included Navy, who like was second in the American. I mean, they just think they're better, and they think the name value holds way more than it actually does. And I've gotten with a bunch of actual beefs with Notre Dame fans on TikTok. So like spanning month-long beefs of us arguing about it. So I don't like Notre Dame at all. Now, my number 4 is Alabama because I think the Drewski video sums this up perfectly with Blitz, Bama, Blitz, and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about. They just know football. And a bunch of the Alabama fans I know, like, because, like, if you're a State fan, you can name the quarterback. You can name your starting receiver. I could have named Underwood. I can name some of our star players in Michigan. They can't. They just knew Nick Saban or Caleb DeBoer. Like, that's all they know. And they don't really, I guess, keep up with the team. So, I mean, they're just kind of insufferable. They've been really good for so long, so it's really easy to hate them, and that is why I'm kind of hating them. But I think it's funny when you get the board, you've been to the playoffs, and they want him fired. It's like, you're not getting Saban again. That's just not happening. And then my number 5 is a little personal. I've known one North Carolina fan.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
He is the most insufferable person I've ever met in my life. So that is why they made my number 5. I wanted to put Duke, but then I'm like, that person. So that's why Carolina is my 5. He just thought North Carolina basketball was the greatest thing on earth, and that Hubert Davis was the truth. And I hate Hubert Davis, so they will be my number 5.
Just by the way, Chase, we are going to a shootout in the Flyers Hurricanes game right now, which is very intriguing.
Very intriguing.
Well, who's your top 5? Very different, by the way. You can tell he grew up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go in reverse order. Because I have a lot to say about number 2 and number 1. So I'm going to go in reverse order. So I'm going to start off with number 5.
I get 5. I completely get 5.
Nebraska fans are so entitled, and they haven't won anything since the 90s. They think that their football program is what Alabama is. They still believe that they should be held in the same regard. I mean, I remember when they hired Matt Rule, everybody was like, oh my gosh, Nebraska's back. Dylan Raiola committed, and everybody's like, oh, Nebraska's back. I got to see him firsthand in Oklahoma City when they played Troy. Granted, we got our asses stomped. But, like, just absolutely trash fan base. Flipped off my mom. Like, what are we doing? I mean, you look at the crowd, they're your typical corn people that you'd imagine, like a lot of them overalls, fat, white, dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, I hate to say it. So Nebraska definitely rubbed me the wrong way, especially the crowd was still going crazy. Like when they're up 30 points, like I feel like when you go up 30 points, you shouldn't be booing the other team's free throw shooting. Like at that point, the game's over. Like you get out of there and let the Vanderbilt section come in. A lot of those fans didn't even leave. They stayed and the Vanderbilt fans couldn't get their seats for their game against McNeese. So definitely hold Nebraska fans in a lot less higher regard due to my recent experiences with them. I hate Louisiana Lafayette.
I gotta hear this because
Louisiana. I hate their fans.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely horrible fan base. Like, if you want to talk about the most dumb, like, people, they go to Louisiana. I mean, so we've hated them for a long time. When my uncle was at UT Arlington, we would go to the conference. When he'd play a conference tournament, it was down in New Orleans. And so, obviously, they'd have a lot of fans travel down for the tournament. And you know what? It was always UT Arlington and Lafayette at the time that were the two powerhouses in the older Sun Belt Conference before everybody realigned and everything. And so I vividly remember this. My sister was like 8 years old at the time, and we're sitting like almost upper deck. Like we're far away from fans. And she was just like, obviously there's not a ton of UT Arlington fans in New Orleans, Louisiana. So my sister's booming their free throws. And this, I mean, she looked like probably in her 40s, 50s, this 50-year-old white woman she was like all decked out in Lafayette. She told my sister to shut the F up. And I'm like, dude, she's an 8-year-old little girl just cheering on her uncle's team. And so ever since then, I mean, they're just the scum of the earth. I mean, Will can tell you, I mean,
I see.
absolute trash fans
I
base in every sport. Anytime I've been there, absolutely trash. I mean, I know you have some stuff to say this on, so you can
yeah,
add in.
I agree, but I don't. I think their students are trash. But after my college career was over, I asked my parents to rate their top 3 fan bases that treat them well. Iowa was one. Iowa was very hospitable. They were very nice to my dad when he traveled down there. Thanked him for coming out. Like said, we gave him a hell of a game. Number 2 though was Louisiana. They said they had a great experience in Lafayette. People bought them food. Like I mean, we're trying to show them around. I mean, like they had a great experience in Lafayette. Memphis, by the way, was bottom 3 experience for them. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, they said they were treated super well by the fans of Lafayette. And then number 3 was Arkansas State, which they said that was kind of non-existent, but the people that were there were super sweet and respectful of the Trojan faithful. But yes, I understand where you're coming from because I did get those chirps from those fans that you're talking about. I mean, they're everywhere, and I understand with your personal experience, yeah, why they would be on this list. But hey, there are some good Rage Cajuns out there. I promise you. They just may
I've met
not
them.
show
just
face
saying,
as much.
as
No,
a,
I
as
get
a
it.
whole,
Trust me. If I had okay, preface this back on the Ole Miss thing. An Ole Miss fan. I mean, I've been hit with drinks before by Ole Miss fans at Egg Bowls. So I mean, it just I get it. Continue though.
All right, Georgia. This is just because I think it's kind of the same thing with Alabama fatigue. I'm just tired. I'm a little bit tired of Kirby Smart. This just the Georgia fan base. They just glorify him, in the same light as Nick Saban, and he's done well. I can't knock Kirby. He's one of the best coaches in college football. But if you see how these Georgia fans talk about Kirby, I mean, you'd think he's Bear Bryant or something ridiculous. Like, yes, he's won national championships, but in the same light, he's not touching Nick Saban or any of these other conversations. And they're just really insufferable when it comes to their sports. I remember a couple of years ago when they had Carson Beck just absolutely glorifying him, saying he should be in the Heisman race. Same thing with Gunnar Stockton this year, and it's just like, what are we doing? Like, do you guys watch the same games we watch? Like, yes, Georgia's obviously dominant in the light of scrimmage, but they push their guys to being top of the top. I don't understand it, but definitely pretty unsufferable. But 1 and 2, easy, hands down. Oklahoma, not as bad as Texas A&M. I want to preface that Oklahoma is not as bad as Texas A&M. Very heated rivalry though. Has obviously been really fun for me growing up as a Texas fan, just always banter with Oklahoma fans. Like, it's a big deal in our state. We have a lot of people who have gone up to University of Oklahoma from our area. A lot of people go to Texas. Like, it's just fun to, go back and forth about it. It's always respectful, but man, I just hate those Sooners. There's just something about the Red River rivalry that just makes you hate Oklahoma fans. And for the most part, I actually enjoy them, but you know, they were talking so much before the playoff, just begging the committee to not let Texas in after we gave them belt, in the Red River rivalry this year. Just I saw so many Oklahoma fans just begging like, "Oh, keep Texas out," just to get stomped by a very mediocre Alabama team. I mean, I think the SEC is better when both Texas and Oklahoma are good, and so it would have been fun to see them both make a playoff. But I digress. Like, at the end of the day, most Sooners, it's not a bad education. It's a good school, and they're genuinely pretty nice people until it's Texas versus OU. But great rivalry throughout all the sports. And I would honestly say Oklahoma's a bigger rival than Texas A&M for Texas, because Oklahoma's better than Texas at a lot of stuff. Now, turning over to my least favorite school on the planet, I absolutely cannot stand Texas A&M. The cult behavior, I mean, it's just ridiculous. The yell leaders, I mean, it's these gay white boys in tight like I can't even explain it. They do dances the entire time. For example, my sister was playing a preseason women's soccer game, Rice versus Texas A&M last year. They had 5 yell leaders doing the dances, and one of them was on the other side of the field. There was not a single person in the stand. Like that's just weird cult behavior. Just the whole ring dunk everything. Like, I guess if you go to Texas A&M, you gotta love it, but it is so weird. Like, they worship a dog, and I mean, I don't have any beef with dog, but like, I mean, it's just weird. And they are so obsessed with the University of Texas. You see them throw horns down in every single any event, any event. It doesn't matter. They could be playing Rutgers. They could be playing Long Island. They could be playing College of Charleston, for God's sake, and they will throw the horns down no matter what. Their fight song is about Texas. They are so overly obsessed with Texas to, not even beat them. They haven't beaten Texas in a rivalry game in football in forever. Granted, we got swept in baseball, and that's a whole different conversation. But for the most part, Texas has dominated Texas A&M sports over the last, couple of years since they've been in the SEC. And just for them to be constantly like, all they want to do is talk about Texas as A&M fans. So the icing on the cake was they thought they were so convinced on Twitter that they were getting Cam Coleman, and then he dropped his commitment to Texas, and it was just super funny for them to, first glorify Cam Coleman as the greatest wide receiver ever, and then, them flip their narrative 30 seconds later, like Cam Coleman sucked. He wasn't even good at Auburn. Texas just paid him more when it came out that Texas A&M threw a bigger bag at him, but they a lot of them don't even know about their football team. They just hate University of Texas. They couldn't even name anybody who plays for A&M. So just the scum of the earth, and I just can't stand A&M fans.
They just couldn't get into UT. That's it.
Exactly. They can't get into UT.
Wait, this is a genuine question. Is A&M not a really good academic school or no?
It is a good academic school, yes.
But they have
it's not good
lower
UT.
acceptance rates than UT.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's got like a 10% acceptance rate, and UT's like 5.
Okay. No, that's a genuine question. I don't know.
Their fight song does go "Goodbye to Texas University." Like that.
Yeah, but the fight
song varsity's horns off.
The fight song
they chant the
music is pretty fire because that is our high school fight song. Best things that happened this weekend. So, I went down to Mobile on Thursday night for my childhood best friend's wedding. It was his best man. So let's talk about Thursday night. We get there, check into the hotel, meet up with the boys, go to dinner. We got to a bar called the Icebox. Now, this was a low. Me and the groom, Owen, we're going to there was karaoke night, by the way. We'll preface that. We were going to sing Preach by Young Dolph at karaoke night. The DJ skipped us. After saying that it was fine, we just ended up leaving, going to another bar. We got shiesty. Great night one. Okay. The rehearsal night, things got a little iffy for old Willie over here. I had to give a speech, and I was super nervous about it. So after the rehearsal, I drank in the span of about an hour 5 or 6 double Tito's and Red Bulls. Now, if you know anything about what I've been doing over the past few months, is I haven't drank any alcohol since me and Chase went to the Stars game.
Oh, boy. I feel like a truck.
Okay. This continued after the speech when I proceeded to take 2 Jaeger shots and drink more Red Bull vodka, and then proceed to go out to a bar after and drink more beer. I think I would have blown in the 200s if they would have blown my BAC. It would have been like a 0.240 or something like that. It was borderline alcohol poisoning. As I was in the hotel room, I was like, oh shit, I need to take some Pepto. So I did, got to sleep, woke up the next morning, and dear God, I was in hell for the first. I woke up at 7:30 to go with, by the way, I went to bed at 2 in the morning. Woke up at 7:30 to go to breakfast with Chloe with some dude. It was wonderful, by the way. Shout out Murray. He was a great guy. I was just not in the right state. Came back, took a nap, had to go to brunch with the boys. I ordered food, and I just stared at it for like 15 minutes. And people could tell I was struggling. So you know what they did? What did they give the best man? shot of whiskey. That was the worst idea ever because this extended the nauseating hangover. This is the day of the wedding now, by the way. We're doing pictures at 3 p.m. And I walk into the nice venue, super antique at Spring Hill College, and I go straight to the bathroom and I just let it all out. I just had to let it all out. But then all of a sudden, we were back like we've never been before. Took these pictures, nailed them. Went to the wedding, nailed it. Reception, shiesty. Then at the reception, I got an alert on my phone that my boy Josh Hokett was fighting. Went over to the table, propped it up on the beer that I was drinking, and watched this man dominate Curtis Blades for 3 rounds. Flipped him off 9 times in the fight. Gave him the bird punch. Oh, I got hit. Bird. It was elite. There are some probably horrific pictures of me out floating around out there on our photo circle and on the photo album. Do I remember the nights?
Go with no.
Mostly. There are parts on Friday that I do not. I cannot remember at what time I blacked out, but it happened. There are certain aspects of the night I do not recall it ever happening. Thank you for the Snapchat photos I had taken to remember, because if not, apparently Chloe had a police horse. I don't remember that. Apparently I gave a good speech. I just watched it for the first time with Fluke. Didn't remember that. Apparently I chirped the band to play Freebird. Didn't remember that. And apparently I was just an absolute legend. Didn't remember that. Apparently I wasn't like obnoxious or annoying. I was just awesome. And I think that's about as good as it can get, because sometimes you can teeter over the obnoxious, annoying side, like, certain people's fathers that are sitting in this room right now next to each other.
Yeah.
And apparently I didn't cross that line. Boy Gravy did sometimes over the weekend. So it was an awesome weekend for me. Luke, how was your weekend?
Yeah, no, so I watched UFC. It was great. Pay-per-view was awesome. The only fight that was really bad was the Reyes fight. That literally, there was a total of like probably each guy threw 20 strikes, significant strikes. It was awful. They were literally just standing there. Apparently, they both have glass chins. That was boring. But then the legendary fight of Josh Hoykett and the other guy followed it, and that was an absolute war. Now, when I was 12 Coors Lights deep in this fight, that was all. I was going absolutely nuts. It was kind of sad though, because I didn't have anybody to watch it with, and then my dad wasn't there, so it's just kind of like getting drunk in my room all alone, which is a little sad. But anyways, I was pissed because Yuri lost when the dude literally tore his ACL. He was gonna have to vacate the title, and he literally just stood there and let him punch him, and I was super pissed. I lost a bunch of money on Yuri, and then I started watching Invincible. I'm on episode 5. I just started this weekend because I had nothing else to kind of watch for like a little period of time. So it's really good. The intros are pretty peak when it's like he's about to say Invincible and then it cuts to the intro. I didn't know that was an actual thing before watching the show. But it's a very good show so far. I'm really excited about it. And then NASCAR Fantasy. Now,
Brian Waldman, if you're listening to this, you don't know car, bro.
Dude, he does not know car. And like I would talk to my dad about this last year and be like, oh, it's probably not that hard. I've beaten him almost every week. He is not happy. Like he gets so worked up because all I got to do is just like start showboating. And he like the one week he beat me, like you can ask Will, he was texting a lot about it. And like I'd lock in, come in first place again, and just start talking shit at the family dinner where L Dog told me I got banned from talking. So I love NASCAR Fantasy. It's giving me a reason to watch NASCAR. So I kick it over to you, Chase.
A lot of people were actually down on the Masters.
I disagree.
I thought it was a great tournament, and Sunday was absolutely electric. We didn't know who was going to win. It wasn't like there was a clear runaway favorite to the last couple holes. So it was absolutely electric Sunday. I thought it was outside of Bryson. I thought everybody really came to play and showed up. I mean, looked like old Scotty was back. Played phenomenal. Saw a bunch of guys have really good, good tournaments, good weekends. So it was really fun to watch. And then obviously very excited. The Pods are very hot right now. They're on a roll. Swept the Rockies, first sweep of the year. definitely very excited. And 2 walk-off home runs, pretty cool too. And then last week, I think I texted you on Thursday, Will, when this game was going on. Stars Wild was absolutely electric. This was to decide who's going to get the home ice between the two of them for next week's series or the end of this week's series.
This game was nuts.
And absolutely nuts. Wild were up 3-1. Stars come back 3-3. Wild go up 4-3, and the Stars come back and win 5-4. Absolutely nuts game. I was texting Will, and I got in trouble for this. I think Quinn Hughes might be the best player outside of Connor McDavid in all of NHL after watching the game.
No. Let's go through this text thread real quick. Hopefully I still have this. This is the most atrocious take I have seen in hockey in a while, and you can tell the buddies.
That Suzuki's better than Draisaitl?
You can tell brother's new to the sport of stick and puck with the way he was describing my boy Leon Draisaitl. Let's just put that out there right now.
I was more rage baiting you there. I knew
it's not saved, but he said Nick Suzuki was better than Leon Draisaitl.
Season.
That was whatever. I don't. Piss off. Evan Bouchard's better than Quinn Hughes. I mean, it's he's gonna win the Norris. He's gonna win the Norris.
He may, but I mean, watch what Quinn Hughes brings to the Wild. He has the most time on ice out of anybody in the NHL. I mean, dude's an absolute demon. I mean, he defends well. Some of his passing, I don't know how he sees it on the ice. He had a pass in the Stars Wild game that set up a goal. I think it was on a power play. I don't know how he saw, I believe it was Eric Sinek. I mean, I don't know how he saw him. I mean, he's absolutely insane. He's great on the offensive end. He could skate better than pretty much anybody outside of Connor McDavid. I mean, he's an absolute dog. And we saw it in the Olympics.
Really I was just motivating you back a little bit.
Isn't he supposed to be the second best since he hit the golden goal?
God, no. No.
I'm kind of in agreement with Chase here.
It's supposed to be, it's really McDavid McKinnon, but
it is. But in terms of American hockey players, I do think Quinn Hughes is the best.
I would argue against that as well.
Oh,
who would you put there?
I think Cole Caulfield would be the best American skater right now. And he wasn't even on the Olympic roster, which is a damn shame. But he just scored his 50th goal in the NHL this year. I mean, dude is on an absolute tear.
It's very tight. Quinn Hughes is, arguably the best player on the Wild. So,
anyways, that'll do it for episode 54. You're good, Chase. That'll do it for episode of 54 of Swiss Army Sports. Until Thursday, when we'll be breaking down the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Have a good night.
Okay, I do want to say this. UCLA had all 5 of their starters drafted in the first round of this draft.
Yes.
And they had 3 of them, or no, they had